Hi, I'm so glad you're with us for this online training. This is video number 2. Now that you know about your curriculum and you know about your student binder, we're going to go through steps 1 through 4, and this is called the I do. What that means is we're also going to review it where it's called the we do, and we're also going to do the you do at the end, where you're going to fill out your lesson plan and practice with your peers. So in the I do for this video, we're going to go through steps 1 through 4. The first step is phonogram cards. So students who join us in 2nd through high school will know their letter names and sounds, because if kids are using the music app, CDSM, they need to know their letter names and sounds. If they're in if they're in 1st grade, they're a little bit too young with the music. We don't use the music. You could, but my research worked with 2nd graders and older. So what we do is go through the letter names and sounds, and they have to say P, P, S, S, T, T, D, D, C, K, D, D, I think that was B, F, G, G, H, H, K, K, L, U, M, M, N, N, R, V, V, W, W, X, X, and Z, Z. We want to be sure they don't say pa. They want to say p. They don't want to say wa. They want to say w. They don't want to say the or duh. They don't want to add that UH sound after it. So it's a process, but I always remind them it's like adding a vowel sound afterwards, so they don't want to do that. Then we want to go through the vowel sounds. U, E, A, I, O, yeah. We say Y for the end. But what I wanted to show you, if you have students that struggle with the vowel sounds, some will, some won't. I've created key concept cards. They're pictures. So what you'll have the student do, I like to put these in a binder with a plastic page protector, but you can do whatever you want. When they're in the page protector, you can use them for multiple students. So how you do these, you say A, X, A, X, A. And we have bed, E, bed, E, bed, Then we have I, wig, I, wig, And we have O, ox, O, ox, And then we have U, up, U, up, So students typically know the vowels, but if they don't, bring out the key concept cards. So when all my phonogram cards are numbered as well as colors. I've got colors of purple, red, orange. I call this red. Here's more of the orange. We have blue. We have yellow, the green, will be vowel teams and vowels. And all these wonderful cards will be introduced gradually. When I've had students with 40 sessions with me, we start getting into the vowel teams with the phonogram cards and really digging deeper. So to get started, you're going to use those cards with your key concept cards, which are the pictures. And I wanted you to also know, we'll revisit this later, but in your parental toolbox, we have a phonogram card order that's going to show you the order we introduce this. If you want to teach something in a different order, it's okay. This is how I numbered it according to how I introduced the sounds to the students. So for example, I teach CE, CI, and CY in the beginning before they actually take their first test. A lot of students have already been introduced to the hard and soft sounds of C and G, but they don't know why. So I do those, and then I'll show you how I introduce them with the letter, but then I'll bring the cards out. So we will go CE, se, CI, si, CY, si. And I take the picture out, and I'll show you the picture. So I take the picture out. There's two things we want them to know. One of them is that the C has a soft sound with E, I, and Y. So these are the pictures. CE, cent, se. CI, city, si. CY, cycle, si. And then I introduce soft G. We want them to know that G says J with E, I, and Y. So we have GE, gem, je. GI, gingerbread, I. GY, Jim, j. So we review these a lot, but I love introducing them up front. So that's what we do with phonogram cards. So step 2, we use the sound circles. We're going to build sounds. So you have a bag in your kit, and we have a sound rectangle, and we have circles that have colors on both sides. So we're going to use the words in your, it's 1C, which is your spelling guide. And we're going to take the first word, bed. So I'm going to have you practice with me. Say bed, and you say bed. So then we're going to tap it out. B-E-D, bed. What we do, so if you do this online, my screen is reversed. So I'm going to show you how we do it. We say B-E-D. And then we point and have the student point. B-E-D, bed. Bed becomes Ted. So they repeat, bed becomes Ted. So the B goes away and the T comes down. And then we point again and we say T-E-D, Ted. Ted becomes red. So they repeat it. Ted becomes red. So the T goes away and the comes down. E-D, red. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing. This is my my spelling test, my exercises in 1C. So I'm just going through the first 3 words, and I'm substituting beginning sounds. And then tomorrow I do the next 3 words, and I substitute beginning sounds. And I just keep going through substituting beginning sounds until the student is finished with that test. So I'll go to the next word. Sometimes I'll go like this, which means it's a new sound. Say hat. and they say hat. Tap it out. Hat. Hat. Okay, so we go hat. And then we point hat. Hat. Hat becomes mat. Hat becomes mat. They repeat it. So the h goes away and the comes down and we point at mat. Mat becomes sat. And they repeat, mat becomes sat. So the goes away and the s comes down and we point and say at sat. And then we clean our slate and we have a new sound. The next sound is lid. Say lid, lid, and we tap it out. O-I-D. So then they pull the circles down and they say it. O-I-D. And then they point. O-I-D. Lid. Lid becomes rid. And they repeat, lid becomes rid. So the O goes away and the comes down. Id, rid. Rid becomes did. Rid becomes did. So the goes away and the d comes down. And then we point and say it. Did. So how is that? I just do 3 words, but I give it 3 substitutions in the beginning. And as the students are getting it, you can watch them. If they're working next to you, you can just watch them do it. And you only have to model when they get stuck, which is usually as they progress. And even when they're working on Zoom with you, you can be watching their screen and only jump in if they need help. So that's how we do sound circles. So I just wanted to add that when we get into larger words where you would say ship, there's different ways people do this. I was taught one way to put, so ship or star or vowel teams. I was taught if 2 letters make 1 sound, you put 2 fingers up. But the Orn-Gillingham model that I'm being trained says 1 finger for 1 sound. So if you do ship, you're going to go sh, I, p. Okay. If you want to say star, you're going to say st, r. So we're not going to go AR says R. If you've been taught a certain way and you want to stick with that, that's fine. Just, it's just building the sounds for the students, because I think it's interesting how some programs will combine letters and have you show 2 fingers and others only want 1 because of 1 sound. So now we're going to do step 2. Step 3 is our letters. And in your student binder, you have a scope and sequence. Let me take it out of my student binder. Your student binder is going to tell you what letters you're going to do with the vowels, A, E, I, O, U. And I actually put this in my binder face to face with my planner. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And I have A, E, I, O, U. If this is mirrored, let me go like this. Okay, so what I do is I put the E at the bottom, which is very common because we want to separate the 2. So we're going to start, so it tells you what letters. We have P and D and B and T and C and G. And my letters are freshly sprayed black and freshly sprayed silver for uniqueness of my program. So we're going to we'll start with the P. We're going to put it in front and then behind. And we're going to say pa, ap, pi, ip, paw, up, pa, up, pe, ep. Then we're going to do D. Da, ad, di, id, da, od, da, ud, de, ed. Then we're going to do B. Ba, ab, bi, ib, ba, ba, be, eb. Now I have my whiteboard backwards to me, so it's forward to you, but it's also mirrored in my Zoom, if that helps you. So now we're going to do T, ta, at, ti, it, ta, ot, ta, ut, te, et. And now I just see what the students know for this C. I asked them, just put it in front. Ca. I asked, do you know the soft and the hard sounds of C and G? Some will say yes, some will say no. It's okay to pull the E and the I aside and have them just do the hard C in front of A, O, and U. Ca, ca, ka. And then we'll go with a G. It's going to be a hard G. Ga, ga, and ga. And then I show them when they're with E and I, we have a soft sound. We have si, se, and we have j, ja. And that just introduces it. So if your student struggles with this for 1 day, well, 3 days is the max we're going to do this letter. We call this set 1. Then we go to set 2, and then we still bring the G and the C. And then we'll go to set 3, we'll still bring the C and the G. So we're just introducing it. And I've actually tried different things with the students. And because I'm tutoring a bright second grader right now, he's ready for me to separate that E and the I right away. But you need to use your discernment if you want to save it for the next day. If you want to introduce the phonogram card before you do the letters, but usually these letters introduce the phonogram cards. And that's how easy step 3 is. Now, step 4 is when you want to put music in the student's left ear and you want to play the music app. So you have a web app and you're going to press music. And they're going to play, so the app is CDSM, or in your kit, I'll give you the web app site. So what you're going to do is turn to your book, which is 1B, and it's the phonics reader. So I'm going to reverse my book again and show you how we do this. So the neat thing is, you can be on Zoom and you can enlarge this. So now the students are going to read the sounds that they were creating. Un, na, id, di, op, pa, ud, da, ka, onk, af, fa, il, li, on, na. You want to be sure they don't say no. We're keeping the short vowel sound, ah. Si, is, og, ga, ba, ab. And it goes down. Here you have 2 letters making a sound. Here we put the sound in a word. So pa, pat, pad, pan. Fi, fit, fin, fig. Ra, rot, rod, rob, rod. So what's really unique with this, the students will be at different levels. You want to first model it and then have them repeat it. Then have them do it on their own if they're able to. If they're not, have them say it with you. And the thing is, you want to let them do some on their own. You want them to do most on their own. And if they're not getting about 80% accuracy, you're going to redo this the next session. So sometimes students will only go through a half a page, but this little second grader I'm working with, he got through a page and a half and then another page and a half, because we want to get them to finish page 5 before they use the music app. So that's a really nice goal. And we have something we teach during step 9 if you're not doing the spelling exercise yet with the app. But try to get your student to page 5 as soon as they can. But remember, it's not a race, and every child is at its own pace, his own pace, and we want quality. And it's not so much quantity. Sometimes I'll write in my planner, the student finished page 1. And then the next page, they went to 2A, which means they only did the top half. Sometimes they'll only do the bottom half. So, but this, with the music, is really going to help them. So that's step 4. Now in the next video, this is more of the I do. In the next video, I'm going to go through every step again, and I'm going to have you pause the video and work with a team member to practice and then come back to the video. So this is the end of video 2. Bye-bye now.